So I'd like to welcome everyone to GDG Soweto, and today we'll have Ghulam, who's going to walk us through Flutter 2.2. Ghulam, I think if you could just introduce yourself and we can just kick it off.
All right, so I'm really excited about today. My name is Ghulam Abbass, and I'm a CTO at Zed Developers. I'm a software developer. I'm a full stack web, mobile, and IoT developer. I'm Flutter expert. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm really excited to show you a presentation uh, on what's new on Flutter 2.2. Um, all right, so let me know
Awesome.
if you can guys see it.
No, it's here on our side.
Okay, all right,
Cool.
great, great. So today we will see what's new in Flutter 2.2, and so let's dive in. All right, so my name is Abbas, and I'm co-founder and CTO at Zed Developers. I'm a full stack web and phone developer, app developer. I'm Microsoft certified as well. I'm tech speaker. I also have a series on how to make application on Flutter at YouTube. So this is a link to this series. Okay.
Cool.
So what's exciting about today? So we will explore what's cool about Flutter 2.2, and we'll see hands-on live coding examples on Dart Thread. And at the end, I will give you a really cool Flutter tip. Okay, are you guys ready?
Awesome, bro. Let's kick it off.
All right. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to tell you about Flutter 2.2 is that we have type dev. So the type dev is a really cool thing. It is also known as function type alias, and so so we have sometimes in coding where we want to change the name of a function, or we want to change the name of a class, which is pretty hard to do. But with type dev we can do it really easily. Okay, so here is a simple example of a print function. So let's say we have a simple print function and a inside a main function. So it is just printing hello Flutter there, which is really very easy. Okay, so let's say we want to change the name of this function print, and we want to write single f there. So let's say I want to rename this print function to f function. So what is so we have a quick way to do that. We can do this like this. So we can make another function called my printer, and then we can pass some text here and print some text here, and we can call this function inside the main. So this is an old function. So this is without type def. So with type def, what we can do is there we can make a new variable f. So this is a print function, and I have assigned this print function to a variable f. And now I can use f, and I can type anything else here. This will print here. So we can change the name of function really very easily. Okay, so here so let's say we have so let's say we want to print a list of string. So a very simple way to do that is that we have a list here, and it contains a string, and the name of the list is my list. Um, Here I have added two items. The first one is bye bye, and the other is old Flutter. So it says bye bye old Flutter, and I have printed this list right here. So let's say I want to make so let's say we want to change the name of this class string. I want to call it my string. So how can we do that? Um, we can do that by this. We have to assign a type def string list, which is a list string. So I've created a new type definition which is called string list, and by using this, I can um, I can make a new list with this new variable name. So this is something new in Flutter 2.2. We can change the name of the class, and we can change the name of the function as well. So how it is cool? All right. So here, the other thing we have on Flutter 2.2 is that on the web, when we have two, three inputs, we can just press tab and we can move our focus to other input. So let's see example here. So let's say I have a simple application of Flutter and I have made four text fields. So initially, what was happening in there that the tab was not working there, but in Flutter 2.2 it is updated. So let's say I am on this text field one, and I press tab. I will move to the next field here. So this is something new in Flutter 2.2. Um, all right, so let's move to other updates. All right, auto web scroll. Um, in Flutter 2.2, most of the updates are for web. Um, okay, so let's see example here. I have created a list here, and it contains 100 items. In Flutter 2.2, if we make a list and we run this app for web, we can see a scroll bar here, which is new in Flutter 2.2. So whenever we make a list here, this bar will appear here and we can just click here and scroll it up and down. So this is really a new a cool feature in the 2.2, which was not in the previous versions of Flutter. Okay.
Ghulam,
uh,
before you move on to your next part, I just want to ask, so what this is this a way to like iterate through like your items, say that are in an array or another data structure that lists items? Just quickly elaborate on this feature.
Yes. So whenever we have something to scroll for the web view, we will have some scroll bar here on the left. On the right hand side, which will help us to scroll to the items. This will work for the list and for other for all the widgets as well. So let's say we have an app where we want to show all the images there, and some of the images are not visible on the web screen, so we have to scroll it. So the automatic
Mm.
scroll bar will appear there on the right hand side.
Oh wow, that's actually cool because I've seen in some apps where like you see some of the items that you're working through, but you don't see the whole thing.
Mm,
So this allows you to iterate through all the items in
yes.
a list. Okay, no,
Yes.
actually, cool, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
All right, so let's move to the item number 4. So what's new here? We have a rich text update. So what this means is that if we are typing something inside the app, let's say we have text like click here to go to the Google's website. So the here word should be highlighted. So we can do this in with the rich text. So let's say we have written this inside the app that this is not a link, but this is. So this is a rich text and it contains two childs. um, the first child have a text which is right here and some style which is black color, and the other child has some text and style as well, but it has a recognizer, tap gesture recognizer. So this is new in Flutter 2.2. We can add on we can do whatever we want to do if we tap on this on this text. So let's say we have, but this is text, right? This one which is in blue, we can add on tap events on this text as well. So this is something really cool in Flutter 2.2.
Cool, really cool, man.
All right, so let's move to the new update. So so the Flutter have the very first thing is that we looked into the type def, and then we looked into the automatic scroll behavior, and then we checked out the tab functionality. If we press tab, we can move to the other input as well. And the fourth one was the rich text. So the five one is the bonus. So you can rock your Flutter app with the animated text kit package. So let's see some examples for the animated um, text kit. So I'm going to the next slide for examples. So let's say you want to add any of this cool animation inside your rock your app. You can do this really very quick with the animated text package. So this was introduced in April 2021, and let's check out some examples for this. So this is an app which is built on Flutter, and here's some animation on text. So if we want to do this without this animated text kit, this will take a lot of time, and we cannot do something perfect like this. So we can just use the animated text kit to for these really cool animations inside our app. So there are a few cool animations. Let's walk through all of them. We can add all these functionality inside the Flutter app. Mm, I like this one. This is
Yeah, no, it's
really,
quite
really
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Actually, Ghulam, can I ask a question? Since this is built into Flutter 2.2, I wonder, does that mean we're not calling in an external library to make this possible? Just can you quickly just run us through the code as to how is this possible? How do you make this happen?
All right. So if we have some application where we want to show some really cool animation like this, there's a package called Animated Text Kit, which is um, the latest version of this is 4.2.1. With this with this package, here are pretty cool examples here. Let's see here. So we can make it possible with just a few lines here. So let's say we want to implement something like this in our app. So here's some very simple code here which we can just copy or paste inside the app to for this really quick and cool animation. So here we have a text B, which is right here, and we have three texts: awesome, automatic, and the third one is different. So all these will appear after some time interval. So you can just use this code for this really cool animation. Here are a few more animation examples like this one. Here we have some code here. So by using this plugin, this is really very easy to implement all these functionality inside your app. So that's why we use this plugin.
Okay, that's cool because I see there's a part where you actually choose the font family, so you can choose what type of font you want into
Yes.
the text. Okay, that's actually quite cool.
Yes, the other thing cool about this is that we can also add some tap event on this. So let's say we have this inside the Flutter app, and we can just add on tap function here, and we can call another function, or we can process anything here inside this function. So this is also implemented on web as well. So if we make the app in Flutter, we can make the build on Android, iOS, web, Mac, Fuchsia operating system, which is new, and Mac operating system, Windows. So we have just one code base, and we can just deploy the code on any of the operating system out there. So let's say this is a plugin and we want to see the web example. So this is completely web example. This is hosted on web, animated text kit.web.app. So this is really cool, and it works very smooth on web as well. So we can just use this library and rock our app.
That's awesome. So we basically import it into our app the same way we'd sort of import any other module or package that we use. Is that how it
Hmm.
works?
Yes, that's
Awesome,
right.
awesome.
That's right. Yep. Okay, so this is all about today. We have five updates on the Flutter 2.2. If you have any questions regarding Flutter, I'll try best to answer your questions.
Actually, I have a few, but this is actually more about you. So, how long have you been using Flutter, and why would you say it's actually a cool framework to actually use? So, if you could just quickly walk us through the pros and cons of actually using Flutter.
All right. Okay. So let's say we want to build an application for Android and iOS, okay? And we added some features on Android and some features on iOS. By the time we realize that we have to update our app, right? So so without Flutter, so if the app is not made on Flutter, what you will do is that you will just write code for code Java for Android updates, and you have to code Swift for iOS updates, and then you have to make the builds app for both two operating system. um, and let's say you have the web version as well, and you have the desktop Windows application as well. So it's very hard to maintain all the code bases for different operating system. With Flutter, if you make the app on Flutter, you have just one code base, and if you want to update some feature or add a new feature inside the app, you have just single code base for all the operating system. You just have to update on Flutter, and the Flutter will give you the build for all the operating system, which is Android, iOS, web, Mac, and all the Fuchsia operating system. So so that's why we use Flutter. And with Flutter you can develop application really very fast, because it has pre-made widgets, and the UI is very beautiful in Flutter, and the animation and the performance is just like native. So that's why I prefer using Flutter for new projects.
Okay, that's awesome. So, in a sense, it's platform independent. So you can build it, then it'll run on all platforms.
Yes, you
Okay,
have to build it
awesome.
once, and you can run on all the platforms out there.
Okay, awesome. So we have a question from, I hope I'm saying his name right, but I think I believe his name is Murendani. So what he's asking is that how is Flutter compared to React Native?
All right. So so Flutter have very good community, growing community, as compared to React. React have a larger community on the developer side, so this is the advantage for the React. But nowadays, this Flutter is getting more popular than other frameworks. So if you are good at JavaScript, I suggest you to um, learn React. So the React is for the JavaScript guys. But if you are new and you have no knowledge for the JavaScript, so you can learn this Dart and Flutter really very quick. And the other thing is that with Flutter you can make the beautiful UIs and animation, which is hard to do in React. So so this is the plus point for Flutter. Flutter is using the set state functions, which is inspired from React. So if you have an app and you just want to update a single area, or if you just want to update the header, the top bar or the bottom bar, you can just update it by the set state function, which is a stateful library, which is in Flutter, and this is inspired from React. So this is a complete guide on uh, what is different in Flutter and React.
Okay, no, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, just a few things. How long have you been using Flutter, and just a sort of like a link as to resources, as to someone who wants to start off with Flutter, where should they start and what should they look at first?
All right, great. Um, if someone wants to start with Flutter, they can just go through the official website, which is flutter.dev. You can just go there, and you can see all the code labs there. Um, let's click on get started, and here you can find all the relative link for all the operating system. If you want to, if you are on Windows, Mac, Linux, or Chrome OS, you can just download the SDK and get started. Here we have all the links here. Okay, so here are some samples which can inside the samples we have cookbook. This is really very cool. Here we have the animation part where we can learn how to animate inside the app, and the designing part, and we have the effects, form, gestures, images, lists. These are the basic building blocks of the application. Also, I have made a complete tutorial on how to get started with Flutter. This is my YouTube channel, and you can also watch my videos. I have been recording this video quite a while, and I have 15 videos there, and I keep posting videos every week there. So this is a very basic start for all the beginners.
It's actually quite awesome. That's actually quite awesome. I think if you could probably send us the link, then I can also have that up on the site as well. So as soon as
All
this
right.
talk is done, people can get your resources as well. Yeah, no, since this was rather a quick talk, I think maybe we can explore Flutter a little more. You can just give us sort of a background as well. So, personally, I use Node and Express. So, I was wondering to say that would you consider Flutter to be just a front end framework, or can we do some back end stuff as well with Flutter?
All right. Okay. The Flutter is just a front end framework. We can use Flutter with Firebase as well, and we can make our data accessibly on cloud. So Flutter help us to make the beautiful UI in record time. So it helps us to make the application faster. But if you want to share data between the apps, you need a backend database. You can just make APIs on MySQL database, or you can just use NoSQL, Firebase Cloud storage, and you can just share the data there. So we have to use some backend with Flutter.
Okay, that's actually quite awesome. So, are there any projects that maybe you've developed using Flutter that you could probably show us, or just an example of just what the type of magic that you can produce with Flutter?
Hmm. All right. I have quite a few apps on Flutter, which are on Play Store. Um, I made a complete chat application on Flutter, like WhatsApp. You can just send messages, send voice messages, or you can just send images there. So I have made a project like this, and I have also made a complete smart home on Flutter. So I have made an application on Flutter which is called Smart Home, which is connected to my home, and I can just lock my door and open up my lights with the app. So we
Okay,
can do all these cool things with the Flutter.
okay. I know this is a bit sudden, but can we just get a small demo, or if you could please just show us, if possible, that cool app that you just described right now?
Okay, so it is on Play Store. Let's see here. Okay. So these are all the apps which are mostly made on Flutter. So let's start with
Wait, are
um,
those all the apps that you developed using Flutter?
yes, yes. So this is a smart home application which I use in my home. So this is simple UI. So let's say I just log inside the app, and what I can do is that I can open the main door, open the lights, open the roof motor, underground motor, and I can do all these things with this app, which is made on Flutter. There are other apps which I made on Flutter as well. This is the Webhook Duty text application where you can just record the text for. So this is basically something like a calculator. So we can just calculate multiple things at the same time. We have tab 1, 2, 3, and we can calculate things really fast with this.
That's actually cool.
And there are other apps which are made on Flutter as well. I have made this app on Flutter, which is People in Space right now. It is using an API, and it has a cool animation. A guy is spinning here, and here we can see all the people here, which are inside the space right now.
Okay,
So
wait, can I just ask a quick question? So, in terms
yes.
of how do you actually know how these people are in space? Is it like yeah,
All right.
I'm wondering how do you get your information?
All right. So we use an API which gives us all the information um,
Oh,
for the people. These APIs is officially by the NASA, so we can just use their information, and we can make our app a UI, and we can just use their information and show it right there.
oh, that's actually cool. That's actually cool. Just a quick question. I think it relates to what Murendani asked earlier. Is to say that
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
does Flutter also use like a component based system where like really you build your components into it, then you can just sort of call the components into the app? Because what I'm wondering is that how is it more than an advantage? Say I was just using HTML and CSS. How is it better that if I used Flutter as opposed to if I just used HTML and CSS?
All right. So with Flutter, we have complete widgets. So let's say we want to show a text field, um, or we want to show an image. We have pre-made widgets which we can just use and make the UI very quick. Inside So with the HTML, what we do is that we have a separate file for CSS, separate file for HTML, and we code on both the files. But with Flutter, we have a complete standard UI, which we can just use as a boilerplate to make the application really very fast. So we have to write code on Dart, and then we build the apps for web, which will give us the optimized HTML build, which we can just host on web. So um, so this way we can make apps on Flutter, and we can deploy on web.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it basically makes it easier since it's templated. So you can just basically call in your template
Yeah.
and start building from there.
Yes, yes. So inside this presentation, I have used the snippets here, like this one, where we can just code here and see the example here. So if some new guy is watching us and they want to get started on Flutter, but they don't want to install all the SDKs and install Android Studio or VS Code, they can just dive into the Dartpad. um, let's just see right here. So this is a Dart pad, and where we can start using Flutter and Dart, and you can just see the examples here. If we click run here, we can see the output in the console here. So here are some samples. So first I want to show you that this is using Flutter 2.2, which we are talking about, and it is using Dart SDK 2.13.4. And so let's say we have some examples here, and just click on this counter example. So this will write all the code here, and we can just click on this run, make it look like a phone. Let me just retry that one.
Oh, don't worry. Most apps don't run on the first try.
Yeah. Let's try a simple example. Hello world. Okay, so this is the main function. So this is a Dart, and where the main function is called on the start, we have a for loop here which prints the hello world from 0 to 3. So the cool thing about the Dart pad is that if we click on some function, it will explain that what this function is used for. So let's say I click on print, it shows me the print is a string representation of object to the console. So let's say I click on for, it will show me some updates for some information for the for loop as well. Okay, so let's try some other examples. Integer to double. So we have a number which is an integer. We can just make it to the double. Um, so this is basically some math related example. Let's try something cool here. Okay, I really like their example, which is sunflower, which pretty shows us the true power of Flutter and Dart. Let's run this. Let's see if it is running. This example is really cool. Let's wait for a few seconds.
Okay, I see the JavaScript canvas. Does that mean we're about to draw something on some sort of canvas?
Hmm. Yes. Okay, it worked. All right. So let's see. So this is code which is like 140 lines, and this is completely purely on Dart and Flutter, and it is using the math library and the material UI. So this is an app, and it works this way. Let's see, make it a decent size. So this will explain how good is Flutter on the performance. This is a range. So let's drag this here. So you see that it is making more seeds on the screen. So so this shows us that how powerful is Dart and Flutter, and how quickly you make some the application which have uh, the great performance like this.
That's awesome. It sort of reminds me of, when you use responsive design for, say, CSS, and you really just want to change the screen resolution. But in this case, it's the animation. So you can just sort of play with the animation using a scroll bar.
Yeah.
That's actually quite cool.
Yeah, that's cool. And
So,
there are other examples which are really which are really cool as well. Let's try this one, the draggable and physics.
oh, that sounds cool.
Okay, we have the sample code here, and it is running. Okay, just a few seconds. Okay, so this is a simple application which will look like this inside our phone. So I can just drag this Flutter logo, and it will come back to this same location. So you see that how smooth and how fluent is this application.
Yeah.
So if you want to make something like this with HTML, you have to code a lot. Am I right?
That's true. That's it's
You
a
have
lot of
to
lines of code.
you have to code a lot, and still you will have some hard time with the HTML and CSS to make something like this.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true. So wait, that draggable icon or image, is it an image that you import, or is it SVG, or is it a PNG type of image? I'm
um
wondering about the image.
all right, I think this is an image, and let's see here. um let's see if we can find some clue inside the code.
Yeah, it seems like it's some image that they imported
um
and really.
this is basically a widget.
Yeah.
which is there, which is
Oh, there
Flutter
we go.
logo, and its size 120 pixels.
Okay.
So this is regular. So this is very easy. It is just 100 lines of code, and the great thing is that if you know how to code this application on Flutter, you can make the apps for Android, iOS, and all the operating systems out there. You can also make this for web. So that's why the Flutter is cool for the fast development.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
Let's try some other examples. Here we have
Okay, cool.
this counter. So this is the Hello World application. If you install the Flutter SDK, and you install all the dependencies, and you run the first app inside your phone, you will see something like this. So this is the Hello World application by Flutter, where I can just tap on this button, and this increment will um, so this is simply counter which will increment by one.
Oh,
so,
I
so
see.
so let's say we want to change the theme of the application. So we can just click on here blue, we can make it red, and just rerun. So you can practice Dart and Flutter here on the dartpad.dev without installing anything in your PC or laptop.
Wow, that's actually cool. That's actually cool.
Hmm.
So, just a quick question. How long have you been using Flutter again?
I'm using Flutter since 2 years. I'm using Flutter, and I have made around 20 plus applications on Flutter.
Okay. Wow, that's actually quite cool. So, if I guess as a final word, say someone wants to move to Flutter, or rather, like I was talking about earlier, this is someone who's like new to web dev, just using HTML and CSS.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've already spoken about the benefits of Flutter, but just as a final word, what would you say to actually give us that final push to say move to Flutter?
Hmm. All right. Um. Okay. So if you are a new guy inside in the development field, you have to learn a lot. If you want to make the applications on Android, you have to learn Java. If you have to make application for iOS, you have to learn Swift. If you want to make apps for web, you have to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, backend database, and everything. But if you just learn Flutter, you can deploy your app everywhere. You just have to code application once, and you can make a faster and smooth applications on web, Android, iOS, and mm, all the operating systems out there. So this is really cool about Flutter.
That is awesome. So I just have another question. It's how do you deploy the apps to iOS store from Windows?
Okay. Um, So if we have developed a Flutter application, and we want to deploy it on iTunes Store for Apple, for iOS, what so we cannot do this on Windows. We have to do it on a MacBook. So we have to install Xcode on MacBook, and we can just use the Flutter code to build the application, and we can upload the builds to the app stores from MacBook. So we can do this all from a MacBook, and uh, this cannot be done from Windows.
Okay, I see. I hope that answers our case question. Okay, so I think that is really awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we close?
Yeah, sure. I want to add, like, if you really want to be a cool developer, you have to look for new updates out there. You have to update yourself. You have to
Yeah,
learn new things every day. So in the software development field, we have something new every day.
yeah,
we
I know.
have we have new updates every day, so we have to keep ourselves updated.
Yeah.
um, to be a good developer.
No, that is 100% true because I personally love JavaScript, and the funny thing about JavaScript is that you work on something and then 30 seconds later you find out there's something new that's actually quite better than whatever you were working on. So I think
Hmm.
that's one of the best parts about being a developer. You never get bored because there's always something new on the web.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know
Yes.
that is an awesome tool. So okay guys, I think at this point we can stop